Hi everyone, this is Jay, your instructor for computer networks, and in this session, we are going to discuss the most important protocol in the application layer, which is DNS. The full form of the DNS is the domain name system. The domain name system is a distributed database which is implemented in hierarchy of many name servers. It is an application layer protocol and it translates the addresses. So for example, if you are accessing the Amazon website and for that you're typing www.amazon.com. So in the internet, each and every device is having unique IP address. Now imagine if you have to remember IP address of every site or every device you want to access, so that would be so much difficult, right? So we cannot understand and we cannot remember that many number. That is the capacity of human. So that is why we are using one system which maps the IP address with the name of the website. So when you're typing the www.amazon.com, your browser knows that the amazon.com is having the IP address, for example, 9.2.3.4. So it will send request to that particular website. So DNS is responsible for that. If the DNS system would not exist, the whole internet would collapse, because without the DNS we are not able to access, we won't be able to access this many websites. So what happens when your browser doesn't know the IP address of the particular website? For example, if you're typing www.xyz.com and your browser doesn't know that what is the IP address of the www.xyz.com. So in that case, your browser will generate the query. It will first see in its own operating system device in which the browser is running. The browser will see in the operating system that whether the IP address is present or not. If it is not present, then the browser will generate query and it will ask some servers. So there are specific servers are there which are responsible for DNS query. They will solve the DNS queries. And we are going to see that how the DNS queries are solved. So the DNS provide different services. The more importantly, the DNS maps the IP address with the website name. So the question is why we don't centralize the DNS? Okay, there is a possibility that we can generate a simple, let's say, notepad like file, and in that there will be the IP addresses and there will be the website names, and that file will be stored in our computer. So that would be possible, and actually that was the technique that was used, because at that time there were very few websites available and very few IP addresses were there. But right now the internet is having billion IP addresses and billion websites or more than that. So in that case, if your computer stores the file, the size of the file would be very large. Again, if you consider today's situation, we can download the large file. So it means that it is not that problematic, right? But that is not the only problem. The size is not the only problem. The another problem is that every website is changing their IP addresses, and we are not aware that which website has changed its IP address. Some popular websites are having fixed IP address, but some are changing. So the rate of changing is very quickly. So if the in that case we cannot download the file at, for example, every minute, and we can update that file. That is very inconvenient, right? So that is why we need the domain name system. So why we not use the centralized DNS, that we just discussed, that if it is the possibility of the single point of failure, like if our device is not working, or if one particular server is not working which contain all the information about all the computers, all the website and all the IP addresses in that server. So if all the information is stored in the particular server, and if that server is not working, so in that case no one can access the website. Then it will increase traffic also if we provide the centralized DNS. Now why we not use the centralized DNS? What is centralized DNS? Centralized DNS means that in the internet there will be only one device or one server which will handle all the requests for the DNS. It means that it will store the file which contains the IP address, which contains the website, and that file will be updated and all the information will be shared from the other device and the server very frequently. So what are the disadvantages of that? So in that case, if that server is not working, it means that no device in the internet can access the website because nobody is remembering the IP address. Again, the traffic will be increased because there is only one centralized device, so all the devices has to reach to one particular device to access any website, so it will just increase the traffic, and it would increase the maintenance too, because we have to keep the server working 24/7, and we have to use very modern and fast processors for that server, because in the normal DNS queries are 600 billions per day, so it is not very efficient, right? So that is why the DNS is used decentralized queries. We are going to see that how it uses the decentralized queries. So the DNS is totally distributed and hierarchical. So in the top there is a root servers. After that there are top level domain servers, and after that there is a authoritative servers. So if you are typing, for example, www.amazon.com, so after .com there is a dot, and that dot at the last represent the root DNS servers. So the actual website is www.google.com and dot. So dot is a root DNS. After the dot server there is a top level domain server, for example .com, .org, .edu, .gov, etc. After that there are authoritative server, and those servers are for particular website or for particular purpose only. For example, amazon.com, yahoo.com, then pbs.org, then oxford.com, then oxford.edu, then stanford.edu, etc. So what are the top level domain servers? They are responsible for .com, .org, these are the examples, .net, .edu, etc. It also includes the country level domains such as .cn, .uk, .ca, .jp, etc. For education base there are .edu. Then authoritative DNS servers. These servers are organizations on servers providing the authoritative host name to IP mapping for organizations name hosts. And local name servers, which are also called as default name server. So when your computer is not knowing the IP address of the particular website, it will first reach to its own local server, which can be at your university or at your company or at your internet service provider. For example, you want to access the www.xyz.com and your computer doesn't know it. In that case, it will generate query, and query will be sent to the local server of your internet service provider. So there are different type of methods using which the domain name system resolves a query. So there are two types. The first is known as the iterated query. You can see that there are different servers are there. Root DNS server, then there is a TLD DNS server, then there is authoritative DNS server. Suppose you want to access any engineering website and your computer doesn't know the IP address, so it will send the request to the local DNS server which is residing near to your house and which is provided by your internet service provider. So your computer send the request. Now if the server of the internet service provider knows the IP address of the request, so it can reply with that IP address. But if that server doesn't know, so it will first reach to the root server. So it will first reach to the root server that can you tell me what is the IP address of the engineering.nyu.edu? So root server generally don't know the IP address, but root server will provide the information to the local server by which local server can reach to the top level domain server. So it will reply with the message that okay, I don't know the IP address of your query, but I know that from where you can get the IP address for your query. So the local server receives the message from the root server, then after it reach to the next server which are the top level domain server. Now which top level domain it is going to ask? It is going to ask the top level domain server .edu. It will reach to the edu. Again, there is a possibility that top level domain server knows the IP address of the query. If the top level domain server doesn't know the IP address of the query, in that case, okay, I don't know the IP address, but I know from where you can get the IP address. So it will reply the message that for the next time to which server it has to reach. So again, the local server will receive the message from the top level domain server and it will reach to the authoritative DNS server. And from the authoritative DNS server, it will know the IP address of the website and it will send to your browser. Your browser will receive the IP address of the query. It will store into its memory, and again you can access the website and you can see that website in the browser. So this is how the iterated query works. In the second type, the local server won't solve your query for you, but it will ask the query to all the servers. For example, you want to access the website, the request will be sent to the local server. Now local server will forward that request. It will not resolve your query, but it will forward your query to the root server. If root server doesn't know, then it will forward the query to the TLD server, because root server knows that which TLD server could know the IP address of the query. If the TLD server knows the IP address, then it will forward the message. If TLD server doesn't know, then TLD server knows that to which server it can forward the query, then it will forward the query. The authoritative DNS server knows the IP address, so it will reply the IP address to the TLD. TLD replies the IP address to the root server, and root server will reply the IP address to the local server, and local server will reply the IP address to you, and your browser will save that IP address for that particular website. This is the message which is generated by the DNS protocol, and you can see that there are different identification message, flags, there are questions, different answers, and the length of one field is 4 bytes, and total there are 7 fields. So this is it for the DNS protocol message, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much.